Hello everyone, welcome to the Upfront. For more than 850 days, Manipur burned. Blood flowed, families were displaced, lives were torn apart. Yet through all of it, the Prime Minister of India chose silence. For 28 long months, there was no visit, no presence, no words of comfort. And then suddenly, just last week, Narendra Modi landed in Manipur. But what did he actually bring to a land soaked in grief, healing, or hollow optics? Let's look at the facts. When the Prime Minister finally visited, instead of empathy, what people received was a carefully scripted political show. His speech announced an 8,000 crore development package, roads infrastructure, connectivity. But can concrete and steel substitute for justice? Can new buildings heal the wounds of communities that still cry for accountability? Even BJP's own MLA from Chura Chandpur called the visit disappointing. He said the Prime Minister's speech was empty with nothing in it, and that people had expected genuine words of peace and justice, not the same boilerplate rhetoric that could have been delivered in Gujarat or Uttar Pradesh. If this was about real healing, why then did the government demolish a symbolic memorial wall in Chura Chandpur just days before Modi's arrival? The wall, built by the Kuki community, carried mock coffins to commemorate their dead. For them, it was a sacred memory. But for the visiting dignitary, it was inconvenient optics, and so it was razed. Is that governance or a calculated insult to the grieving? This is why many in Manipur called the Prime Minister's trip nothing but theatre. And the timing reveals even more. The visit was deliberately scheduled on September 13, a day when the Kuki community remembers the 1993 massacre. Instead of respecting that day of mourning, the center orchestrated a grand display drowning sorrow in political spectacle. What's more, just before Modi's visit, the Ministry of Home Affairs renewed its suspension of operation agreement with armed Kuki groups. On paper, it was presented as a peace step. Kuki groups would reopen National Highway 2 and commit to Manipur's territorial integrity. But Kuki leaders quickly clarified they never blocked the highway, and movement across the buffer zones remains tightly controlled. The government's version was a distortion, one that deepened mistrust between Kukis and Metis instead of bridging it. So ask yourself who benefited from this? Certainly not the people of Manipur, who remain trapped in uncertainty, fear, and communal suspicion. Instead, the center turned tragedy into political currency. By announcing big money and staged peace agreements, it created a facade of control while the underlying issues, justice, accountability, reconciliation remains untouched. Let's be clear, money cannot substitute for justice. Infrastructure cannot erase displacement. Rhetoric cannot replace a genuine dialogue. What Manipur needed from the Prime Minister was an honest acknowledgement of state failure, a concrete roadmap for truth and reconciliation, and a commitment that perpetrators of violence would face the law, whether Methi or Kuki. Instead, what Manipur got was a spectacle, cameras rolling, banners waving, an 8,000 crore announcement, and behind it all, a deafening silence on why the center stayed away for 28 months. Why didn't the Prime Minister speak up when communities were being torn apart? Why didn't he walk the relief camps when mothers wept for their children? Why only now when politics demanded a show? That's why so many in Manipur call this visit nothing. Retake. That's why so many in Manipur call this visit not a turning point but a cruel reminder. A reminder that their pain can be bulldozed for optics. A reminder that their debt can be erased for convenience. A reminder that their living wounds can be plastered over with development promises. In the end, Modi's Manipur visit was not about peace, it was about performance. And performances may win applause on television, but they do not heal broken societies. Viewers, what do you think? Was this visit a genuine step towards justice or just another political drama staged on the graves of the forgotten? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you.